Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Running Code Humor in South Texas Law Enforcement. I'm your host, T-Bone. My partner, J-Man.
What's up?
J-Man.
It's going all right.
I know, guys, that we've been behind in episodes. Again, real world stuff takes over. And we do this for fun. Maybe one day we'll get to the point where we're like a Joe Rogan, where like this is what we do 5 days a week, But I think we both have to be A, retired,
Yes.
B, money to do that, because his
Yeah.
podcast to run takes a lot of money.
And then he has on like controversial guests.
Yeah.
And you know what? We can't afford to do that right now.
No, I'd love to be able to do that. My goal for us ultimately would be to have a full studio where we could have guests come in and bring in controversial officers that have been in controversial things and get their side of it or hear what they got to say, or controversial guests. I don't want to bring in like felons. Some podcasts do that. But at the same time, maybe you need that other side of it, and officers can watch that and then get their mindset.
Yeah.
So that's where we're going with that. We're sorry, guys. We're trying. Again, our email, if you want to email us with questions, comments, concerns, is runnincode2023@gmail.com. So RUNNINCODE 2023@gmail.com. Yes, we're not up there to where we have our own like at runningcode.com. We don't have that yet. We're a small time thing, but we're having fun doing it. Videos when they're on YouTube, if you want to leave comments. We'll respond to them. If it's racist or biased or prejudiced, we'll delete them because you're an idiot. That's not what we're here for. But you want to call us names, we don't care. Thank you for watching. We've had a few of those. I'm like, well, thanks for watching.
Thanks for
You guys are pigs. Thanks for watching. Appreciate it. No such thing as bad press, I guess. But today we're going to talk about with the state of the world going on right now and what's happening in the Middle East and how it affects us here. And there's a lot of officers who think that, well, it's happening over in the Middle East. It doesn't really have anything to do with us, and they couldn't be more wrong because we've learned quickly over the years that borders mean absolutely nothing when it comes to terrorism.
Yes.
Nothing. If you want to fight the enemy, you go to where the enemy's at. And terrorist minds, the civilians are the enemies because they want to terrorize them. That's the whole point of terrorism, is to terrorize. So we saw what happened in Austin.
Oh, yeah.
That was terrorism. That was terrorism. That wasn't just some whacked out dude pissed at the government and decided he was going to take it out on everybody and then eat his own rifle. He wanted to kill as many people as he could. Probably knew he wasn't going to make it.
Yeah.
And my hat's off to Austin Police Department, man. They smoked that dude quick. Like, they put that shit down
That was
fast.
a very quick and effective response.
I think it was under a minute they were there.
Uh-huh.
The guy should have done his homework to realize. So my theory, either A, he didn't realize that 6th Street in Austin is crawling with law enforcement at night. Like, they're everywhere because they have to be because the amount of drunks and the fights and all that. Or B, he didn't care. And hey, I'm going to get as many as I can before they get me, which is usually the mindset. I'm going to get as many as I can before they get me. What we want to impress upon any officer that's listening to this, and even civilians, is pay attention to what's going on around you.
Yep.
That's not the last incident that's going to come from this. There has been a lot of reports over the years of Iran sneaking in Iranian Quds, which is Iranian special forces, into the country via Venezuela, because Iran and Venezuela are allies. Venezuela, or Iran, provides Venezuela. I don't know the relationship there because Iran has oil too, but I think the relationship was Venezuela gives Iran money or gives oil. Iran was sending its fighters here into Venezuela to be trained and then infiltrating into the U.S. And in Venezuela, the Iranian fighters are being trained to, in Spanish, how to look and act Hispanic, not Middle Eastern, and then sneak across the border to the U.S. to stand by and wait for orders. Iran made it clear that if we ever attacked Iran, that they would set them loose. So we need to be paying attention as law enforcement. That was not an isolated incident. I don't think it's going to be the last one. And of course, because it's terrorism, they're not going to go after hard targets. They're going to go after soft targets. Schools, bars, stadiums, wherever that civilians are congregating. And that way they can get a large effect in a small amount of time by just pulling the trigger and pointing into the crowd. You don't really have to aim. If there's a large crowd, you don't have to aim. Just start pulling the trigger. You're going to get people. Kind of like that, the Route 56 or Route 66 festival in Las Vegas.
Las Vegas, yeah.
All he had to do was just point into the crowd. He didn't have to aim. He just pointed into the crowd because everybody's in one space. That's terrorism. He may have been white. That doesn't make any less terrorism.
Right.
So terrorism is terrorism, but you're going to have radicalized Americans and you're going to have actual Middle Easterners who've come over here via the southern border or came to the U.S. legally at one point and they got radicalized later. That's the downside to free speech is you can hear all this crap online and nothing we can do about it. You have the right to believe whatever you want to believe. It's when you turn it into action that becomes a problem. So the question is, how do you spot that? They don't walk around with a flag saying, I'm about to kill a bunch of people.
Right.
You know, pro Allah, I'm about to kill a bunch of people. That's not what they do. But there are indicators you need to pay attention to. So if you're an officer, you need to pay attention when you're walking, let's say, like Austin PD, you're on the strip, 6th Street, 4th Street, where all the bars are at. You need to pay attention to the crowds, not the pretty girls. Okay, the girl barely wearing a miniskirt that barely covers her ass and a halter top's probably not going to be your threat. Okay, you need to pay attention to the guy who doesn't look like he's there to have a good time.
Yeah, like he just obviously doesn't belong.
He doesn't belong. Now, not saying he's not a weirdo that just wants to check out the girls.
Yeah.
Okay, but maybe you should be paying attention to that guy, and your cop instincts should be telling you something might not be right here. Like, maybe I need to really watch this guy. Don't dismiss what the voice in the back of your head is telling you. Start watching. It has nothing to do with profiling. It has nothing to do with, at least for race, color, religion. You know, I can't really say that with a straight face because if I see a shirt that says property of Allah and you don't look like you belong, I'd probably be watching you. Does this mean I'm going to walk up and talk to you or tackle you? No, but I'm going to be watching you.
Yeah.
And the minute I see a weapon come out, okay, all bets are off because what reasonable person is going to walk into a crowd of people and bring a rifle up?
Yeah.
You know, Austin PD's response time was under a minute. Sadly, people lost their lives. That is the nature of the beast because we don't live in a police state where we can stop every single person and question them right there on the spot and search them. This stuff's going to happen. But the response by Austin Police Department was fantastic. It was very fast. It was very rapid. And they stopped it. Now, the guy died. I'm not going to shed any tears over it. And I'm not going to say his name. I couldn't pronounce it anyway on a dare. But I'm not going to glorify him and put his name out there either. The victims that died or that were injured from this, that's who I reserve my sympathy for.
Right.
This guy made his choice. But we need to pay attention on traffic stops, when you're around crowds, targets that in your head as a police officer, you have to put yourself into the mind of the enemy, so to speak. What would I do if I was wanting to be a terrorist? What would I do? Pretty sure this guy didn't get the firearm legally.
I think, well,
maybe he did.
Maybe he did. I can't remember what the news report said, but I want to say I think they said it was a legal purchase.
I mean, look, you can't see into the hearts of people. And this whole gun control, we have enough gun laws. We don't need more gun laws. What we need is actual people control. We need to enforce the laws we have. We have plenty. What he did was illegal. It's called murder.
Yeah.
We don't need another. He could have easily just driven a car right into the bar at 100 miles an hour. The weapon is not the problem. The person is the problem. It's the heart of the person with the intent.
Yeah.
Not the object. He could have used a hammer. He could have used thermite or a tannerite, which you can buy at fucking Walmart. He could have used a car and driven into a crowd. He's not the first one who's done that. We've had people drive into crowds.
New York was no.
New York was one. Seattle.
Waukegan. I think if I pronounced it right.
Waukegan.
The guy, who drove into Daryl Brooks. He drove into.
Oh, that dude.
Yeah.
That dude. And he did not help himself in his trial, but you have the right to represent yourself.
Yeah, so mass terror can be caused by any device, instrument, apparatus that is conformed to commit mass murder or
injury.
Or maiming large groups of people. Doesn't necessarily have to be a gun.
Gun is just easiest because we live in a free country where the right to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Right. So you can fill out a form all day long, and an ATF form is called a 4473. I am not going to kill anybody with this weapon. Okay, a firearm by itself is designed for that. Okay, but the purpose of the founding fathers for the right to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed was to protect citizens from a tyrannical government. That's what it was for. Governments that don't allow their people to be armed have nothing to fear from their people. You want the government to fear the people, not the people to fear the government. So the whole purpose of that is we allow you to have guns because we want you to be able to protect yourself. The British tried to take our guns. We shot them. End of story. That solved that problem. And then we made sure the First Amendment, freedom of speech, freedom to assemble, freedom of the press. But Amendment 2 protects Amendment 1. I have the right to get up here and say whatever the hell I want to. And as a government, you cannot stop me from exercising my rights. And if you try to, well, that's Amendment 2. I do not, let me make this real clear to those listening, I'm not advocating any kind of terrorism against the United States government with weapons. That's not at all what I'm saying. I'm saying that if we had a point to where the government did get taken over by a dictator who starts stripping away everyone's rights, we have an ability to fight back. And that's the founding fathers designed the Second Amendment for, was for the people to protect themselves from a tyrannical government. Now, for those that are here and hate Trump and think he's a fascist, he's not. He's not a dictator. He's not a fascist. Everything he's doing is within the law and within his authority as president. You're pissed because he's doing it. Other presidents could have done it and didn't do it. So this whole, why'd you take out Maduro? Okay, Maduro was not a good person. This is not like a nice guy and we just took him out. Okay, he was a dictator. He has ruined the government of the country of Venezuela. Venezuela used to be a very prosperous nation, a very safe nation. Their gross defense product, or their economy was fantastic because they had oil, they had exports. He took over and took control of all that, and there's people who can't get food. They're killing people for voicing their protests against the government. He needed to go. And then you got Iran. So I'm going to give a little history lesson here because there's people that have no idea what the problem is with Iran. And they think that all of a sudden out of nowhere, Trump has just decided, I'm going to be a bully and I'm going to go after this man. There is so much history that people have forgotten. Let's start with 1979. And yes, it goes that far back. 1979, 47 years. The Shah of Iran, who was an ally. Iran was very, very liberal. Tehran was a gorgeous city. The University of Tehran was a well-respected, world-renowned university. Islam was not the religion of Iran up until 1979, when the Shah fell and Ayatollah Khomeini took over. Islam was not the religion. They were a Christian nation. A lot of people don't realize that. One, Iranians are not Arab. They're Aryan. You will see blonde-haired, blue-eyed Iranians. You absolutely will. They're Aryan, not Arab. Two, they were not Muslim. They were Christian. Now, there were Muslims in the country, but Iran had freedom of religion. They didn't care what you were. If you look at pictures of downtown Tehran prior to 1979, it was rich, it was prosperous. Women could wear whatever they wanted, talk to men without being spoken to first, drive cars, go to school. No one cared. The Shah fell, Ayatollah Khomeini took over, and it went to shit immediately. He started, because initially he had told the people, like, you can still do whatever you want, you can worship whatever you want, you can be whatever you want. Real quickly, that took over and Sharia law took over. So all of a sudden, women are now third-class citizens. Third, it goes man, dog, children, women. So fourth-class citizens. Right away, almost immediately. They took our embassy in Tehran. All 400-something days they had the hostage, our government employees hostage in the Iranian embassy. Because under Carter, or the American embassy in Tehran, they knew Carter wasn't going to do shit about it. When Reagan got elected, they're like, okay, here you go. Sorry. Because they knew Reagan would do something about it. Reagan was not Carter. Reagan was like, go ahead and see what happens. That was what they had Desert One, the fiasco where all the special ops guys were killed out in the desert. Learned a lot of lessons from that. That's where the 160th Special Operations Aviation Regiment came into being, was because of that massive fuck up in the desert when they tried to do the Iranian hostage rescue. Ever since then, a lot of Iran-backed terrorists, Hezbollah, Hamas, the Beirut bombings in '83 where they blew up the Marine barracks, so they killed 240-something Marines. The Khobar Towers was Iranian-sponsored. All these terrorism incidents from the 80s to the 90s, to even to today, and the stuff we were dealing with when I was in Iraq, dealing with, we'd find insurgents after we killed them, and then find passports from Iran, Saudi, Kuwait, Jordan, Damascus, or Syria. But Iran was the one providing a lot of the weapons and explosives to the Iraqis to use against us. So Iran has never been a friend, ever been a friend of the United States since '79 when the Shah fell. It's been under a Sharia law that hates the United States, hates freedom, absolutely hates Israel. I'm not going to sit here and say I'm pro-Israel, anti-Israel. Nothing to do with that. They hate Israel. They hate any kind of freedom, of any kind of Western freedom. Women should not have any rights. They should not speak unless spoken to. They are third-class citizens. Your job is to make the kids and cook and shut the fuck up, and that's it. They don't want them to be educated. They don't want nothing. Okay. For those that don't know, Islam is a very misogynistic religion. It is designed for men. It is, if you're a guy, that's the religion you want. Because you can get away with anything. Women don't get away with shit. People can come after me for that comment all they want. I've did so much time in the Middle East, I can tell you exactly how it works. And I've seen it. And I've been to peaceful Muslim countries like Kuwait. And I've been to not so peaceful countries like Iraq.
We'll just preface that he's talking about extremism.
That is what I'm talking about.
The extreme sect of any religion or philosophy typically is going to be worse. That's just how it goes.
And that's true because we've had
We're
cults.
not talking about general Islam.
Yeah. No, we're not. So
that's
you have your extremists.
Talking about extremists.
And then you have your moderates.
The religion.
And then you have your seculars.
Yes.
Kuwait is it's a Muslim country, but it's secular. So women are free. People are happy there. The government's not oppressive in Kuwait. People can be whatever they want to be. And then you go north into Iraq, or you go to Saudi, or you go to Pakistan or Afghanistan. It is a more extremist version of Sharia law, a more extremist version of Islam.
Right.
But we've had, and you are right, my apologies if anyone mistook that. I'm sorry, I should have made that clear. We've had cults here, we have religious cults in the United States that were just as bad.
Yep.
Just as bad. Don't get me started on Catholicism. So every religion has its, hold on.
Catholicism is not
again. Every religion has its extremes.
Yes.
Has its extremes. And then you have people that make up their own. People like it. They buy into it. Like the David Koresh's Waco cult.
Oh, the Davidians.
The Branch Davidians, or the ones that only hurt themselves, but like, what was his name? In Africa, 800, 900 some people committed suicide for
oh yeah.
the hell was that
I recently
name?
saw a video
Jim,
about that. Oh, you talking about Jim Jones?
Jim Jones, Reverend Jim Jones.
Yeah.
Or you have what was the other one? The Halley's Comet. Oh hell, I remember that one because I remember seeing it on the news and they talked about all the Halley's Comet guys that committed suicide.
Yeah.
That's a pretty extreme religion. That's a pretty extreme cult, whatever you want to call it. So we obviously have no problem with religion. That's one of the great things about this country is you can be whatever you want, worship whatever you want. You can be a Viking. It doesn't matter. You have that right. The problem is, how do you protect a right, but also protect the rest of the public from people who maybe take the extremist view of that religion?
Yeah.
You can't come after somebody, hey, you're Muslim. Yeah, you're out. Can't do that. This country is founded on that. You can be whatever you want to be.
Yeah.
You can be Muslim. You can be Catholic. You can be Baptist. You can be Pentecostal. You can worship Satan. That's what's great about this country.
Yeah.
The downside to that is freedom comes with a price.
That's true.
This is what people don't understand. Freedom comes with a price. Okay? To be allowed to have the freedoms to do whatever you want means that there's going to be people out there taking advantage of that.
Yes.
So what do? Do you become a tyrannical government and stomp everything that you don't agree with? No. So you have to allow it. And you can only deal with the situation once it occurs.
Right.
So unless you have previous intel that, hey, this guy has been online saying he's going to blow up a baseball game, he's got a bomb, he's got a Ryder truck, what are you supposed to do?
And you know what? Like, I think about like suspicious packages or like those type of calls. Those are probably going to be ones where it's just like, I don't know if we'll see an uptick in those. More likely, because it could always be some individual testing the police response.
Could be that too, just to see what happens.
Just see what happens. There's nothing in there.
When I was a patrolman, we got a call for a suspicious package on the porch, and so I got there first, and I'm walking up on the porch, and it's top ramen. It's literally sealed top ramen. It's like 3 containers of top ramen noodles. I was looking at them. I'm like, nope, they're factory sealed. I picked them up. Yeah, they're factory sealed. Like they're ding, ding, ding. I knock on the door. The lady answers. I said, man, they're top ramen sealed. She goes, I don't know who put them there. That's fine. I'll throw them away for you, ma'am. No biggie. Just letting you know. And I wasn't going to get mad at her.
Yeah.
Okay, ma'am. I'll throw them away. You have a good night. But she was like, well, we need to figure out who put this here. I said, ma'am, it's top ramen. I don't know who put it here. Maybe it was a neighbor, had extras. I don't know. I couldn't tell you. This was before Ring cameras were super common.
Right.
So I was like, I'm sorry. And she goes, well, can you look at, and you can talk to all the neighbors? I'm like, no, ma'am. It was top ramen. Just pay attention to surroundings. Keep your doors locked. If you feel like something's off, give us a call. That was the response. All I could do. But we've had others where it's just a box sitting there. It's like, Like, now you can see it was like an Amazon package
Right.
or a FedEx package that clearly marked, taped, got the skin coat, it's not ticking, it's not leaking, you don't smell anything weird. And then you look, and the address is the house next door. Like, pick it up, walk it over, put it on the neighbor's door. Ding, ding, you got a package. Have a nice day. Patrolman, though, be careful. When you start getting these calls, though, don't just approach them all lackadaisical. Pay attention, because it could be either one of two things. It could be real. It could be a pipe bomb, tannerite filled with nails. You don't know. Walk up on it. Your radios, as police officers, our radio is not usually what's called intrinsically safe, which means they do put out a signal that can set off explosives. So before you walk up on the porch, call dispatch, tell them you're going to be shutting your radio off, and then shut your radio off. Put your cell phones in your car and shut your radio off. Go check the package. If it's legit, turn your radio back on, tell dispatch you're fine. If you walk up and the package is, the label just looks off, it just looks odd. It smells. It's got a chemical smell, like something ain't right. Smells like fertilizer, because ammonia-based fertilizer still makes a hell of a bang. Even a box this big of ammonia-based fertilizer will tear the front off a house. Could be filled with nails, BBs, anything that creates shrapnel, pieces of metal, leaking. Like, it just looks wrong. Go ahead and take that one seriously, and you might want to go ahead and start evacuating houses, get them out of that house, start evacuating houses, get everybody away for at least 500 feet, and then call bomb squad. It's better to be turned out it was a hoax than you just don't take it serious, you stand over when it goes off, because the guy's across the street watching in a bush and sets it off.
Right.
So pay attention to your surroundings, guys. Don't get yourself killed because you get, complacent. Complacency kills. But if you walk up, and it's clearly an Amazon package meant for the neighbor, just go put it on the neighbor's porch and have a nice night and clear the call. Just pay attention to your surroundings. I was on patrol. I was a traffic officer, actually, and I pulled over a car. Speeding, that's all it was. Just speeding. Nice young Middle Eastern man. Didn't give me any issues. Calm, polite, just regular Joe. We're just back and forth. And, all right, got your license, got your insurance. Cool, give me 1 second, I'll be right back. I go back, I run him. He's on the FBI's terrorist watch list. He's actively on the terrorist watch list. I was like, so I moved my Tahoe to a better vantage position. Got on the PA, hey man, I'm having problems with my computer. Give me a minute. Called the FBI. Hey, I'm so-and-so. This is what I got. Here's the OCA. And they pulled it and he goes, okay. And I said, so you are aware he's here? Oh, yeah. I said, okay, do I need to be concerned about this? No. Just what's his current address? Get his phone number and send us, copy the citation and your incident number so we can watch your footage. What? Like, so he's here? Yeah. He's on the watch list. Yep. You have far more resources than I do. But okay. And they obviously said, don't tell him either. Officers, don't ever tell anybody. It'll say on that warning, do not notify suspect. You do that, that'll be your ass at the feds. So don't do that, guys. Read the whole warning very carefully. They're not kidding. I walked up, all right, sir. So is this current address? All right, cool. I just need a phone number for the courts for you. All right, drive safe. And I cut him loose. I went back. All right, this is his current address. And did you see anything, smell anything? Nope. Regular Joe traffic stop. He was just speeding, like 15 over. That's all. They just gave him a ticket for speeding. Would you give him a ticket anyway? Yeah. You're speeding, 15 over. Yeah. Here's your ticket. I said, but I saw nothing that raised any red flags. If that terrorism watch list hadn't popped up, I wouldn't even have thought about it. He was a normal Joe, looked like any other American. Okay, thank you. And that was the end of it. But what concerned me is that they knew if he's on the terrorist watch list, what are you supposed to do with that? What did he do to get on that list?
Yeah.
Did he just like a post one day that somebody reported it and now he's on the watch list? Like, why is he on the watch list? And they weren't going to tell me that. Yeah. They were not going to tell me. And that's fine. I don't have the need to know, I guess. If he does something stupid, then we'll all have a need to know. So I was like, okay. There's too many people, I bring it back to immigration. There's legal and illegal immigration. For the record, I don't have a problem with legal immigration. None. Zero. You have the right to try to come to the U.S. and build yourself a better life. Absolutely. People are like, well, people came into Ellis Island and they went through immigration. They had to write down who they were. They had to get jobs. That was a requirement. They didn't just let them off at the beach and go, have a nice day. That's not how that worked. This whole, all Americans are immigrants. No. We won, up until one point, half the U.S. owned by Mexico, or even Spain at some point. Okay, we won that either by war, or grant, or money, or treaty. Yeah. It became ours. Okay. At that point, that's ours. On that border, that's ours. Okay. I'm sorry you don't like it. Every other country on this planet can protect their borders. Every other country on this planet has a severe penalty for violating their sovereign borders. When you stop protecting your borders, that's when the enemy is going to start moving in. Okay, you made it easy under a certain previous administration to just walk across the border. Hey, gates are open, come on in. Again, I don't have a problem with legal immigration. I have a problem with illegal immigration, and the key word there being illegal. I don't know who you are. I don't know where you're coming from. You may not be American or Hispanic at all. You could be what's called an OTM, which is what the Border Patrol calls them, other than Mexican. You could be Iranian, Jordanian, Saudi, Iraqi. We don't know. We don't know who you are. Several of the 9/11 hijackers came over the southern border of Mexico into the U.S.
Did not know that.
I think it was like 13 of them came across the southern border into the U.S. That's kind of concerning. So freedom does not extend outside to our borders. Okay, it's inside our borders. You have the freedom. You're American citizens. That's your American right as a citizen of this country. Okay, we're not citizens of the world. I don't want to hear that shit. We're not. I'm sorry, but we're not. We have to look out for us first before we can look out for anybody else. Think of the lifeguard analogy. If you're trying to save a drowning subject who is drowning in the water and they're going to drown you, you have to let them go. They're going to drown you too. Now you're completely ineffective because you're both dead. And if you've ever been through lifeguard training, they will tell you, if the person's about to drown you, kick them away and get away from them. Okay, if you can get around and get their hair or something, pull them by the hair, but don't let yourself, because they will try to climb you to get out of the water, and they will drown you.
Yeah.
Now, let's use that analogy for this country. We're drowning. Other countries are drowning, and they're drowning us with them. We need to stop and worry about us first, because we cannot help anybody else out if we cannot help ourselves out. If we can't fix our own house, how can we fix anyone else's house? So all these countries that have allowed this mass influx of immigration from Middle Eastern nations are having huge problems. Spain, UK, huge. Germany, France, huge problems now. And they're terrified of pissing off these people. Terrified of it. Their sexual assault rate skyrocketed. Their assault rate skyrocketed. Their terrorism rate has skyrocketed. Their murder rate has skyrocketed. Well, let's look at the correlating factors here. And they're so scared now of doing anything that will piss them off because they don't want terrorism in their country. You opened the door, dumbass. Look at Poland. They allow no immigration from Middle Eastern countries, period. End of story. Not happening. You're not allowed. They catch you there, your ass is gone. Japan, incredibly strict immigration laws. Incredibly strict. They allow Islam is a banned religion in Japan. They don't allow it. You're not allowed to worship it or practice it, at least publicly. They don't allow you to immigrate from Middle Eastern nations to Japan, flat out. The answer is no, not ever. Japan takes their sovereignty and their security incredibly serious. So does Poland. And Poland and Japan have no terrorism problems. It's amazing how that works. When you don't allow them into your house, they can't blow up the house. So now we have to worry about how many people with ill intentions and hostile intentions towards the United States have crossed the southern border in the United States that we don't know are here. The stuff to make explosives, you can buy at Home Depot and Walmart. Tannerite, you can buy enough of it, and it's not a tracked purchase. You can go to Walmart and buy a case of Tannerite and blow it up. It's fun. I've done it. You just put it out 50 yards out, and that's cool. It's not going to hurt you really unless you're standing over the top of the damn thing. But you take enough of it, pour it into something, and start pouring nails and shit into it, you'll have a respectable bomb. Ammonia-based fertilizer, not a tracked purchase. It's fertilizer. So you buy 55-gallon drums of this shit like they did in the 93 bombings of the World Trade Center and fill up a Ryder truck with it, and it's called AMFO.
I thought they did track stuff like that if it's like in a large bulk purchase.
Theirs wasn't tracked because they bought it separately here. They didn't buy it all in one place. Now, yeah, if I go to a place and say, I need 10,000 pounds of ammonia-based fertilizer, you own a ranch? No. You have a farm? No. That person's probably going to call the FBI.
Right.
Okay. And if he's smart, he'll say, take your business somewhere else. I mean, as a businessman, you're like, man, that's a lot of money. But at the same time, like, something ain't right. You know? But a lot of the stuff to make explosives are not tracked. You can buy them at Walmart. You can buy it at Home Depot. You can mix Clorox with bleach or Clorox with ammonia, and have a gas that
Yeah.
is lethal. You just pour it in and you put it somewhere and close the door in a closed area. You can't kill people with it. Hopefully people smell it, open the doors, and get the hell out. But I'm just saying, the stuff to hurt us is not tracked. It's not controlled. It is easier to buy bomb-making materials than it is to buy Sudafed. Because they're more worried about meth, not explosives. Because as a country, we don't think. We think we're safe because of two large oceans and two friendly neighbors, Canada and Mexico. The oceans don't mean shit, and the neighbors aren't all that friendly any longer. And when you don't protect your own country and you don't protect your own borders, you're inviting in these devils. So people who think, like these idiots, and I'm going to call them idiots. They are fucking idiots. I'm going to call them idiots. You have the right to say whatever you want. I got the right to call you an idiot for saying it. Okay? For those that say we should open the borders are the same people that lock their doors. Why are you locking your doors in your house then? Can't anybody just come into your house? America is your house. Protect your house. Shut the fucking border off so we know who the hell's here. Kick the people out that do not belong here. Make them do it the correct way. Get a job. I need to know who the hell you are and provide for yourself. That's all you got to do. And then welcome to America. Welcome to America. I don't care. You show me that you're going to have a job, so which means I'm not paying for you. I'm not paying your medical bills. I'm not paying your education bills. I want to know your criminal record. If you're a rapist, convicted rapist in another country, I sure as hell don't want you here. Thank you. We have enough of our own. We're not going to import rapists. Thank you very much. If you are a murderer from another country, thank you. We don't want you here. No, thank you. Okay, murder's murder. We don't want you here. And then prove to me that you can maintain a job, financial stability, clean criminal record. Welcome to America. And that's the dream. Go start a business. Go work for a company. Welcome to America. I don't have a problem with this. And this is what people don't understand when they want to start spouting off stupid shit like, oh, you're racist. No, I'm a realist. I want to protect this country. And I need to protect it from the outside dangers. And these idiots, like, I'm pro-Iran. Take your fucking pink haircut and take your ass over to Tehran and see what happens. The stupidest thing I ever saw, and I'm going to say it, I don't care, J-Man, I can already see you rolling your eyes before you even say it. Queers for Palestine. You're fucking stupid.
I mean,
because go to Palestine and try that route and see what happens to you. They're not going to protect you because you're backing them up. You go against everything they stand for.
Yeah,
they think you're idiots. They laugh at you because they're like, these idiots have no idea that we'd kill them if they came over here. Go to Iran with your multicolored haircut and your nose ring and your anti-this, that shirt to Tehran and see what happens. You're going to find out they're not going to back your play. They're going to kill you. It's that simple. If they don't kill you, you're going to prison. It's that simple. No other country do you have the right to wave the flag of another country in. No other country allows that. If you're in that country, you wave that flag. I cannot go to Mexico with an American flag and say, down with Mexico. If I don't get the shit beat out of me, which I'm probably going to, I'm going to end up in a Mexican prison for acts of sedition against the Mexican government because it is their country. It's their rules. They have the right to do that. It's their country. We're the only country that is so free you can fly whatever flag you want, death to America, down with America, and we're like, okay, you're an idiot, but that's your right to say it. Try that in another country. Try that in any Middle Eastern country, see what happens. Try it. Western Europe, you might get away with it because it's still Western Europe, but you try Eastern Europe or the Middle East and just see what happens to you. You won't last long. So for those that think this is such a horrible country, don't realize that what makes this a horrible country, quote unquote, and I'm saying that quote unquote for those listening, is the freedoms to do exactly that. Because any other country will not allow that. Try it and just see what happens. Go to South Africa. Go to Egypt. Go to Iran. Go to any Middle or Eastern Europe nation. You're not going to get away with that shit at all. And you illegally come over the borders, and they catch you, you're probably going to prison. When they're done with you, they kick your ass out if you survived your prison sentence. Because prisons around the world are not like ours.
Right.
Okay, I'm not talking about Swedish prisons, which are pretty much country clubs. I'm talking about Middle East, Africa, Asia. Their prisons, they don't know what a right is. There's no civil rights. You survive however you can survive. That's it. The guards are only there to keep you from getting out. That's it. The rest of the time, you're on your own. Good luck. They toss you in there and hopefully you got a Teflon asshole. lots of money, or you can fight. Because it's going to be blood on my knife or shit on my dick. It's going to be one of the two. So people who want to talk shit about this country have never experienced other countries and seen how little rights you really do have and how little freedom you really do have. But freedom comes with a cost. And that means that you have the right to buy a firearm. You have the right to buy these things that could hurt other people. When you use them illegally, that's when we come after you.
Right.
Not the rest of the country and go, well, then the rest of the country can't have it either. No. If gun owners were the problem, you would know it. The rate of homicide would be in the thousands a day.
Yeah.
If gun owners were the problem. There's more guns in Wisconsin, hunting rifles in Wisconsin, than there are probably anywhere else. Not a problem. Okay, hunters are not out to get you. Okay, they don't care about their bolt action rifle. But people look at me funny when I've said freedom comes with a cost. And they don't understand what that cost is. That means you have the potential of being hurt by somebody who has evil in their heart by using that weapon they purchased legally. Because you can fill out that 4473 all you want. You can lie on it all day long, all you want. If there's no flag in the system, they'll approve the purchase. You buy the weapon. You buy the ammo. And for 10 years, you own that firearm and nothing happens. And then one day you snap and you decide, today's the day and I'm not going alone. We have no way of knowing that.
Right.
So all we can do as law enforcement is respond to it and try to stop it. Because here's the thing. A lot of these active shooters have had mental health issues.
Yes.
They do. I'm not going to get in the whole transgender. I'm not.
I mean,
mental
it's
health
not, it's
issues.
it's not just that. It's like
it's mental health issues, whether it's bipolar, schizophrenia, whatever it is. So you have red flag laws. Like Florida has, I don't remember what it's called, where they can take your firearms for 40 or for 1 week. I think it's 1 week, and then there's a hearing with a judge to return your firearms. If you were ED'd, or they call it a Baker Act. In Florida, they call it a Baker Act. Here, it's called emergency detention. Every state has their version of it, where they can take you into custody for mental health evaluation, let a doctor make the call whether to release you or put you in long-term care, so on and so forth. Some states have red flag laws where if we ED you, we take your firearms.
Yeah.
And that's just for safety. They're not evidence. They'll be held in our property room until a judge says a mental health evaluation has been done and a judge says, okay, you can have your guns back. Because we're not going to keep them. You didn't use them in a crime. And it's not illegal to have a mental health problem. It's not against the law to be schizophrenic or bipolar or chop your willy off. That's your right. That's what makes, again, this country great. You have the right to do all that. But where's the line of protecting the public? So you can either be tyrannical and say, you have schizophrenia and bipolar, we're taking your guns for life. Well, that's pretty tyrannical because you have the right to keep and bear arms. You're not a felon. You're not a prohibited possessor. So you go the other way. You can have whatever you want. We just deal with you when it happens, which is the way we do it in the U.S. The United States says, go forward and don't sin. And then you sinned. Okay, now you're going to be held responsible for your sin. These people that are like, no, we should take guns from everybody. Nobody should have guns. Okay, well, if you do that, the criminals still have them because they're not going to turn in their guns.
Yeah.
They know that now a disarmed population is much easier to terrorize. It's a lot easier to burglarize a house if you know they don't have a gun. You might have a hammer, maybe a baseball bat, but you have a gun. You just shoot and bang. So it's a lot easier to terrorize people when they don't have weapons. And that goes from the criminal to the government and everywhere in between. But if you have an armed population, you don't know if, like, half people around you may have a gun on you. It makes it a lot harder to want to rob a bank or rob a convenience store when the guy behind the counter has a gun and he waits you around and pulls that gun out and you could very well catch a bullet in the back. Am I saying it's right? Shot you in the back? No. But that's the risk you're running when you decide to commit criminal acts in areas where guns are free, like Florida, New Mexico, Texas, Oklahoma, Montana, South Dakota, North Dakota, not far western U.S. and not eastern U.S., except for Florida and Georgia. The middle of the country is very pro-gun outside of Illinois. I forgot to mention that. No, Illinois is not. But Wisconsin, love their guns up there. But up there, it can also be survival.
Yep.
It is so damn cold up there that you may have to kill an animal to survive up there if you get out in the wilds. Look at Australia. Australia used to allow guns. The same freedoms we had here, or that the UK had, but you could have them. And then they had a couple mass shootings, and they were unfortunate, and it sucked. But their overreaction was take guns from everybody. Nobody gets guns. And their crime rate went through the roof overnight. Because people don't realize there's still criminals. People think Australia think Outback. They have modern cities. Sydney. I mean, they have modern cities. Modern everything else everybody else has. You get into it, and you'd think you were in the U.S. There's criminals there, too. There's drugs. There's guns. There's violence. There's sexual assault. There's murder. It's everywhere. So this whole mindset, disarm everybody, is the worst mindset you can have because the criminals are not going to disarm. The good citizens who don't want to go to prison are going to disarm because they don't want to go to jail. So when the ATF, and fuck the ATF, for anyone listening to this ATF agent, you can go fuck yourself with a cactus.
They're law enforcement partners.
Don't agree with them, but that's my right. Now, will I work with them? Yes. I will do operations with them. But this whole, all of a sudden, okay, I will allow you to have a short barrel because it's a pistol because you put the brace on it. Wink, wink. It's now a pistol. Oh, you took that brace off and you put on an actual buttstock for an M4. That's a short barrel rifle. You're a felon now. That's horseshit. That's horseshit. If I have an 11-inch barrel versus a 16-inch barrel, did I make it? Am I any more dangerous because I have an 11.5-inch barrel versus a 16-inch barrel? Fuck no. Fuck no. I know what I'm doing with a gun. I know not to just walk in, spray into the damn air. Okay? I guarantee you, my trained ass with a Glock 45 chambered 9mm with a 20-round magazine can do more danger than an untrained person with an M4 and a 30-round mag. I guarantee it. I know what I'm doing. I'm trained. I know what the hell I'm doing with a gun. Okay? There's trained and there's not trained. It's not the fucking gun. It's not the barrel length. It's not a suppressor. It's training versus non-trained. So I have a real problem with, anything under a 16-inch barrel on a rifle and 18 under a shotgun, that's a felony. Horseshit. Horseshit. That 11.5-inch barrel ain't going to fucking hurt more people than the 16-inch barrel because it's in the heart of the holder, not the fucking firearm. I've left my guns alone. I've never once caught them partying or running around my place or running outside the house to go shoot somebody. They're very well-behaved firearms. I've got them trained very well. They sit, they stay. Okay? If I want to kill you, I'll use a knife, I'll use a hammer, I'll use a bat, I'll run you over with a car. I don't need a gun. A gun is just a convenient measure to use. But I don't need one. We've had people walk in and start stabbing people and kill actually a lot of people with a knife before they put them down. It's not the firearm that's the problem. It's the person wielding it. Anything can be a weapon if you want to use it.
Right.
I could grab this mic stand and beat you to death with it if I wanted to kill you bad enough. I don't need a weapon. A weapon just makes it easier. But if you truly are intent to kill somebody, you'll find a way to do it without a gun if you don't have one. So these idiots, I want to ban guns, and they want to open up all the borders. You're inviting problems. And then you want to pro this and pro that, and I'm anti this and I'm anti that. How about you be pro common sense and anti stupidity and use your brain? Because the same people that want to open borders are not leaving their houses unlocked, and they're not allowing just anybody to come in. And it's funny when they do these interviews with these people and they ask them, well, would you be willing to house one of these immigrants? Oh, no. Why not? Well, I didn't know who they are. No kidding. So you're saying you don't want anyone in your house that you haven't had checked out? What a concept. So look at your country like a house writ large. That's your house. And you're allowing people to just walk in the door, take whatever they want, and you're not saying anything about it because it's not your personal residence. So why don't you put up an illegal? They don't want to. Like, oh, no, I still know who they are. And they say this shit, and they don't listen to really? Did you listen to yourself talk? I heard what you said, and it made no sense. So people need to learn. But because of that, again, freedom comes with a cost. Law enforcement, we need to pay attention. Pay attention to your surroundings. Pay attention to people you're talking to. Pay attention to somebody that does not look like they fit in at a venue. Like, pay attention. Terrorists are going to go for soft targets, easy targets. A lot of people in a very small space that shouldn't have weapons because most states don't allow firearms in a bar unless you are law enforcement. So, you got a lot of people there that can't stop you. And they know that in a very short amount of time, they can get a lot of people in one shot and hurt a lot of people or kill a lot of people before they get stopped. Eventually, they know they're going to get stopped. That's why a lot of them do end it themselves by blowing their own brains out. They self-delete. But They can get 20 people before they get you, and they'll consider that a fair trade. They did what they wanted to do. Terrorism, terrorize, make people scared. That's the goal of terrorism, is to terrorize and make you fear them, not to kill people. The threat of getting killed is far worse in their mind, is the threat of being killed. So, hey, if I can make all these people so scared that they're going to get killed, they won't come out. And that's a win for us. So, live your life as a citizen. Live your life, but be aware of what's going on around you. Don't be afraid to call 911. Hey, look, this guy do not fit in. Like, can you come and check him out? Now, as law enforcement, we get that call all the time. Hey, he's got to look right. He's walking through my neighborhood. And then you meet him, and he's wearing an ADT outfit, and he got an ADT badge, but he was black. It's like, really? And I would call the complainant. So what about him made you scared? Well, I didn't recognize him. Like, come on, tell me the real reason. He's black. Thank you, you idiot. Click. You're going to go, sir, have a great day. You didn't do anything. Have a great day. You know, we deal with those. How many times you got that call? There's someone in my neighborhood.
Yeah.
I don't recognize him.
Yeah,
Or
a lot. More than once.
Yeah, or
More than twice.
Here's what I hear all the time. He tried to open my door.
Oh, because the
Like, but did he
solicitors
really?
are just knocking on the door?
Yeah, they knock on the door. He didn't try to open your door. He knocked. Show me your Ring camera. And the guy never actually tried to open the door. They knocked on the door, or they opened the door to knock on the wooden door.
Yeah, screen door.
Like,
yeah.
Oh my God. They didn't rattle the door lock. Knock it off. Now, we've had those where they did. Like, whoa, why on earth would you, as a solicitor, like the inner door, rattle the door lock? That's a different story.
Yeah.
Them I'm going to go talk to. Come here, guy. Because that's attempted burglary. You attempted to open the door of a house that doesn't belong to you. That is attempted burglary. Now I can detain you and I can ID you. Because that ain't right. That's not, that's odd behavior. And
Right.
I'm going to want to know why. So those, and I've had those where, come here, sir. Come here, man. Hey, no, you're not free to leave. Come here. Hey, man. Why are you trying to open the door of this house down here? Oh, no, I didn't. Would you like to see your footage? This is you, right? That's you? Why did you actually try to turn the doorknob on that house? That's not knocking. And they never have an answer. Give me your ID. Do you have a choice? No. That's attempted burglary. I'm going to ID you. I'm going to detain you. And I'm going to turn this over to burglary. You may be wanted somewhere else. You may have been dealt with somewhere else, but we're going to get this on file because that is abnormal. If you just knocked, hey, whatever. Have a nice day, dude. But you tried to turn the doorknob.
Right.
No. I'm going to ID you. Give me your ID. And one guy did have a burglary warrant. I was like, oh, he actually has a burglary warrant. Yeah, you're under arrest. When I called his company, say, hey, can you come pick up his equipment? Because I'm not transporting this crap. Come pick it up. They came and picked him up, and they had not ran a background check on him.
Oh.
So he did legitimately work for that company.
Right.
They were like, oh, no, he's selling our stuff. I said, well, he's got a warrant for burglary, and he's got criminal convictions for burglary. Oh, he's fired, because how's that look for your company, So I'm not saying don't pay attention, don't call. Have common sense. If he's ADT and he knocks on the door, then walks away, goes in his house, knocks on the door, goes to the next house, knocks on the door, he's got an ADT vehicle, have a little common sense, please. But if it's somebody you've never seen, and they're walking through, looking at every single car, or they pull on door handles, and they go to the next house, look in the windows, yeah, call. Yeah, definitely calling that guy. Okay, because that guy's looking for the unlocked house, the unlocked window, or the unlocked car.
Right.
Okay. But the guy walking down the damn street that you don't recognize, have a little common sense. I'm not saying you can't call. Anybody has the right to call law enforcement when they feel they're in danger or they feel that they're unsafe. You have the right. We're never going to say don't call, but have some common sense when you call.
Yeah.
Okay. There's a very rich neighborhood here in this area. Very rich. And we've had more calls just because the solicitor was black. I'm like, really? Are you serious? He's dressed nice. He has his briefcase. He has cards that he's leaving on your door. It says ADT or whatever. Like, really? That's why you called? Are you serious? Well, I didn't know who he was. I could tell what he was from 100 yards when I was pulling up. Have a little comment, and then when you finally get them to admit it on camera, it's hilarious. But I will actually get them to admit it on camera. So, describe him. well, he wasn't white. And you're like, uh-huh. I want them on camera to admit this shit. Like, I want you to admit how stupid you sound on fucking camera. So when you do go to complain, they're going to watch the footage and go, have a nice day, ma'am. Click. So I will do everything I can to get them to fucking admit on camera why they really called us. What was the real reason? It was not because you were scared of them. You just didn't want them in your neighborhood. Well, I'm sorry to tell you, they have jobs too, dumbass. And I've told people that. They have the right to have a job. Oh, well, I just didn't recognize him. You didn't call on the other white guy walking down the street that was soliciting. Why'd you call on this one? And I had one of those too. The white solicitor never called on. They called on the black one. I said, what about that guy? Oh, you didn't call on that guy. He's his partner. He's on the other side of the street. They're at the same company. He just had the other side of the street. Why didn't you call on that guy? Uh-huh. Uh-huh. And they finally go, okay, oh, thanks for coming. Uh-huh. And they realize how stupid they sound out at this point.
Right.
Immigration, illegal immigration, is not a race issue. It's not a religion issue. It's not a race issue. I don't care if you're from Venezuela, Honduras, Cambodia, Vietnam. I do not care. It's a security issue. We don't allow anyone to just walk into a school. These days, you can't just open a school and start wandering the hallways.
Oh, yeah, no.
No. Real quick, you're going to get confronted real fast. We don't allow anybody to just walk in to the unscared side of a police station and just start wandering around. Hey, come here, man. I don't recognize you. And no, we never met. You ain't one of us. Come here. It could be a prisoner that walked away, or you could be a terrorist trying to get the layout. We don't know. Good security means you ask questions. I'm not saying tackle them to the floor. I'm not saying beat the crap out of them, but questions should be asked. Where are you from? Where are you going? What's your purpose here? If you go and cross back into the U.S. from any port of entry from Mexico, the Border Patrolmen are going to ask you, or Customs are going to ask you, what's the purpose of your trip? How long were you there? And where are you going?
Yeah.
They're going to ask those questions, and those are legitimate questions. If you notice, those are the same questions that we can ask on a traffic stop that does not violate Rodriguez. Where are you coming from? Where are you going? What's the purpose of your trip? We can ask those 3 questions that do not violate the Rodriguez provisions of Rodriguez versus New York, or Rodriguez versus U.S., United States. We can ask that. Why do you think they're asking it? Do you think they actually care that you're going to Uncle Jimmy's house for summer vacation? No. They want to see what you're going to say. Okay? So good security has nothing to do with race, religion, gender. It has to do with security of the country you live in.
Right.
And when you have people running around that you don't know their intentions, are they armed? What are their intentions to harm us? Because nobody asked a question, because nobody found them, because they crossed illegally among a border that's got more holes in it than a cheese grater, you're going to have problems. As a citizen, you should be free to be able to go to any place and not worry about getting blown up or shot. But when you demand freedom like this is the cost it comes with. Now you have, because I don't have the right to, just because you're not an American citizen, do whatever I want to. You have constitutional protection even if you're not a citizen. Now, under the strictest measure of the law, if you read the law applies to American citizens. The rights apply to American citizens. But the Supreme Court, and I agree with it, has said no, everyone has the right not to be mistreated, not to be abused, not to be falsely arrested. I agree with that because that's how you start that slide into anarchy, and you start that slide into to dictatorship versus freedom.
Right.
For those that don't know what a fascist is, or fascism is a form of government ran by the military. That's what fascism is. Trump is not a fascist.
It might have changed the definition on fascism. Maybe there might be an updated definition.
Well, they're using their own version of what they believe is fascism because they don't like what he's doing.
Just saying.
That doesn't make it, but that doesn't make it fascism. He has the right to do the things he's doing. Under the law, he has the right to do the things he's doing to protect this country. Just because you don't like it doesn't mean it's not legal. Yeah, so I'm tired of hearing that argument that, we don't like it, so therefore we want it to stop. Oh, well, it doesn't work that way. I'm sorry you lost the election. Try to find more dead people to vote next time. Okay? Sorry. He's trying to protect this country. And he's doing it against your will as citizens who should be pro-protect this country, pro-protect my children, pro-protect my family members. You're anti all that. But at the same time, if the guy killed your kid, you'd be screaming bloody murder that he came across the border. Okay, well, you didn't want us to, remember? I got a Facebook post from you a year ago saying, open borders and down with Border Patrol and down with ICE. I see it changed when it became your family all of a sudden. So it's the hypocrisy of these people that just drive me up the fucking wall. You have the right to say anything you want to, but you have the right to face consequences of what you said too. And with the modern era, it could be online, and then you got a right to face consequences of that as well. Well, you said it, and
Yeah.
it bit you in the ass. All of a sudden now it's a problem when it's you. So these idiots that say, yes, we should open the borders for everybody, but don't want to let them in their house. And their answer is always the same because I don't know who they are. No kidding. It's almost like a concept of security. Good security means you know who you are, what your purpose is here, where you're coming from, where you're going, how long you're staying. Here's a tourist visa. 30 days, your ass is out of this country. We catch you a year later. Gone. Bye. No, negative. There's a give and a take with everything. If you're coming here, that means you're going to pay taxes, have a job, be a good citizen, stay out of trouble, and support your family. Welcome to the United States. And this is one of the few countries on earth where you can go from nothing to a millionaire or even a billionaire.
Yeah.
But you can easily go from billionaire to millionaire to nothing as well. So this country is great in that respect. You can go from dirt poor to president of the United States. Dirt poor, CEO of a multi-million-dollar company. Look at Jeff Bezos. Started Amazon in an office the size of this studio. Now look, he's one of the richest people on the planet. Bill Gates, Steve Wozniak, Metallica started in a garage. This is that kind of country where you can become an immediate millionaire success, but you can lose it just as quick. But that's because of the freedoms that we provide you to do that. The more this happens, the more this shit happens, the less that's going to happen.
Yeah.
Because you're going to be terrified and you're going to be scared and people are going to start getting hurt. And I'm really worried about nuclear weapons because there are nuclear weapons still missing from the fucking 80s when the Soviet Union fell that have not been located. I'm not talking about ICBMs. Nukes can be down to the size of a suitcase. And they're missing, Russia is missing, well, the Soviet Union at the time, now Russia, is missing suitcase nukes still to this day. Because all those countries that are part of the Soviet Union that had nuclear weapons in them, when the Soviet Union collapsed, those countries became their own, and some of those nuclear weapons disappeared. The CIA has even said, it is not if a nuclear weapon explodes in the U.S., it's when a nuclear weapon explodes in the U.S. So, yeah, don't watch the borders and let them walk something across. And they park a nuke outside of the Lakers Stadium or Chicago or Wall Street or D.C. and then see how fast your tune fucking changes. But then there'll be people like, you'll have idiot. Look, if we had a zombie apocalypse, there would be people going, I stand with zombies. Zombies are people too. Okay, well then go hang out with one and see what happens. You'll just join them. You know what I mean? That's the kind of stupidity that we have to deal with.
I think Dead Rising had like a character. Like it's a zombie apocalypse game. I think they had a character that like there's like I think zombie rights or something like that.
Yeah, there's always going to be
eaten in the bathroom.
There's always going to be somebody that says, they have the right. Zombies are just misunderstood. Zombies don't mean any harm. We need to protect zombies. They're people too. They would be those idiots that would do that. And you just go look at them and be like, good Lord. It's like these idiots who protest outside of a prison by someone they never met that's been put to death for a crime that happened 20 fucking years ago for murder of a child or some shit. And they're outside the prison. Free him. Don't put him to death. All life matters. No, not all life matters. I'm sorry to tell you. All life does not matter. I'm sorry. You forfeited that right when you took someone else's. You had a fair trial. You were convicted. To the chair you go. That is how this country works. You try to kill me. I kill you first. I win. You lost. Okay. You don't have a right to life. You can try to take mine or someone else's life. And lately, kind of off topic, but I've seen it on TikTok. You see these videos where they ask these parents, mothers, would you kill to protect your child? No, I couldn't kill to protect my child. What?
Oh.
What? You come after any kid. I'll kill to protect any child. Even not my kid, I will kill to protect them. It's a child. So it doesn't have to be my kid. I'll kill to protect him. I'll skin you like a fucking rabbit. Like, how do you as a parent, like, have we gotten so soft as a country that we will not kill to protect our children from being killed? What? 40 years ago, I'd be like, I will skin you with a hunting knife if you come near my kid. Now it's, no, I couldn't do that. Oh, no, I couldn't kill to protect my child. What? What?
Yeah.
I will absolutely delete you if you come after a child. It doesn't have to be my child because as cops, they're all our kids.
Right.
They're all my kids. I love kids, and I'll protect any child. I love them all, especially that one right there. For those that don't know Jax and probably can't see him in the camera view, he's our third member of Running Code. This is my guard pug, and he loves him some J-Man. So that was today's episode. I know it kind of bounced around a lot. Trying to come up with topics to talk about. We need some ideas. People, email us ideas, what you want to hear at runningcode2023@gmail.com. That's RUNNINCODE 2023@gmail.com. Mail us some ideas. What you want to hear, what you want us to talk about. A specific topic, we'll do some research and do it and see if it's worthy of an episode.
Yeah.
Comments, questions, concerns, email us there. Leave videos on the YouTube videos. Leave comments on the YouTube videos. Pass this around. Show our show to other people. Let's get the word out there. If you don't like what we have to say, hey, you don't have to listen, but we appreciate you doing it. If you hate us and you still watch us, appreciate you watching us. Maybe we'll hear something that'll actually make some sense to you, and you'll go, oh, I have been an idiot. Yeah, it's okay. We all have our stupid moments. We're dumb. We're humans. We're dumb. I know J-Man was kind of left-leaning when he was a kid, but then he became an adult and realized the real world doesn't tolerate that shit.
I'm still. It's like I'm very center. I'm very center.
He's centered, which I can appreciate because you can't be in an echo chamber where all you surround. Do not ever surround yourself with people that only think the way you do. That's an echo chamber.
Yes,
you need to have diverging points of view. You need to have diverging opinions. Him and I don't agree on every single thing, but I listen to him and I respect what he has to say and I respect his opinion. I don't tell him he's stupid because he doesn't believe the way I do. He has his right to that. And I can talk to anybody as long as they can talk to me calmly and rationally and give me an argument and we can talk. We'll talk. Problem is some people we can't talk to. You start talking to them, they just start screaming. Oh, you're a fascist. You're a racist. Like, okay. All right. Well, I tried. And if you look at the difference between liberals and conservatives, if conservatives don't want something, they just don't buy it. Okay, whatever. Liberals don't want something, no one should be allowed to have it. And we're going to ban it for everybody.
It just reminds me of a lot of, so now I view them as like just tiring conversations that I had like in college. Because everything is pretty much as a debate in college.
Mm-hmm. No, well, that's what college is for. Open your mind. Learn how to have a discussion. Problem is, these days, when I was growing up, it was center, a little bit left, a little bit right, but fairly moderate on both ends, and you could actually have, hey, man, I don't like guns. That's cool, man, I like guns, and here's why. Okay, well, I don't like them because here's why. Okay, man, that's cool. You don't buy them, it's more for me. But now it's, well, I don't like them, so nobody should have them.
You can't even like concede at all. It's
no.
Can never, yeah, that's the conversation on that. That's a whole nother thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
but it's free
terrible.
speech.
Yeah.
And you have the right to it.
Yeah.
And you have the right to think the way you want. But again, people, freedom comes with a cost, and this is the cost of it. We are in danger of being hurt. We're in danger of being killed. We're in danger of being blown up because that is the freedom. When you allow people here that shouldn't be here, well, that's the cost it comes with. I'm sorry, it sucks. There's innocent people that will die and will be hurt because of that. But we don't want to be a dictatorial fascist nation. Just stop people. Where are you going? No, we don't want that.
Right.
So you want to be able to come and go as you please? This is the cost it comes with. Sorry, that's the realities. Go to other countries that don't have that kind of freedom, and you will come back and kiss the tarmac at the airport when you get back to the U.S. going, holy shit. Yeah, I've been to countries where I got followed just because I was American and followed by police because I was American and stopped and talked to and harassed because I was American. Haven't gone to Eastern Europe. I can tell you exactly what that's fucking like because they absolutely will pull you in for a conversation. And there's nothing you can fucking do about it. You're in their country. So fighting them just gets you killed. And they're not going to get in any trouble for it. You're in their country. The police over there give you an order. You damn well follow it. And they're going to make sure you don't say no twice. So freedom comes at the cost, people. So that's today's episode. I'm sure we lost some viewers there. Maybe gained some.
I don't think it'll be like losing viewers. This episode could, I don't know. If you don't see this episode up, it's because it got struck. And if you see this episode up and it did get striked, well, I'll be surprised.
Well, it's not going to get struck. It's not going to get deleted. We didn't say anything that would get us deleted.
It doesn't mean a deletion. It's just a strike. It's just like, whoosh, don't do that again.
You know what?
Stop that.
Again.
Stop that.
Freedom comes freedom comes with a cost. Freedom comes with a cost. I'm free to say whatever I want, and YouTube or Apple's free to go, yeah, sorry, we don't want you.
It's not that.
platforms, but there's other platforms that do.
They do, yeah.
And we can transfer to them. Like, okay, fine.
Yeah.
We'll play that game then, fine. If you notice, this last year, it's kind of been a change in what you're allowed to say.
Oh yeah, because at
Like-
first it
like,
was
political correct is starting to go away.
yeah.
Like, no, we're going to say how it is. It's like with that comedian, I can't remember his name. He goes, yeah, you have the right to say something stupid, but I got the right to tell you that was stupid. He goes, so I have the right to say that that was dumb. Yeah, sorry, it was dumb. So I'm going to call you out on it. So you have the right to say what you want. You have the right to stand on your own 2 feet for it and be ridiculed for it.
Yep.
That's just the realities of it. So I can't think of anything more to add on that subject. It's Sunday morning. The time change fucked me up, so I'm tired anyway, and I'm hungry. So I want to go get some chow. But brothers and sisters, now you can see Jax. There you go. That's Jax right there. He loves him some J-Man. I think he would lead me for J-Man in a heartbeat.
No, he still missed you.
He would be okay with visitation, but he loves you. So, brothers and sisters out there, please be safe. Watch your surroundings. Pay attention to what doesn't fit, what doesn't look right. Do it within the law, but talk to that person. Hey, what's going on, man? How you doing? And start asking questions. You may save a life. You may save a lot of lives doing that because you went up and said, hey, this don't seem right. Let me just talk to this guy.
Yeah.
And then the guy goes, who knows what he says? And I'm not going to say what they would say because then I probably will get banned from YouTube, but that is what it is. Pay attention to your surroundings, guys. People call, take it seriously, go take a look. It costs you nothing to go take a look. You never know what the hell you're going to see. Pay attention to smells in cars, ammonia, chemical smells. Pay attention to that shit. Smell to your nose. Stop smelling just for drugs and start smelling for other shit. Chemical smells, vinegar smells, ammonia smells. Pay attention to that crap. It'll save your life. So, Jim, anything to add?
No.
All right, everybody. Well, thanks for joining us this week. Everybody be safe. Pay attention to what's going on around you, and we'll catch you on the next episode, and we're out of here.
Yeah.